All right. Hi, folks. Welcome to Lunchtime Live. Hi, Facebook friends. Wow, I just did something that I was always a little bit of afraid that I would do. I started this Lunchtime Live program on my personal page, and I apologize for that. So if you are tuning in for Lunchtime Live, you are in the right place. Lunchtime Live at the Tijuana Estuary. My name is Maria, and I am an interpreter education specialist here at the Tijuana Estuary in Imperial Beach, California, and I started the Lunchtime Live on my personal page. So I apologize for that. And I'm glad I figured that out. So yeah, this is a little bit of a deja vu. So for those of you that didn't see the beginning of this on my personal page, I'm starting over, and bear with me as we start this program over. So thank you for joining us for Lunchtime Live. I'm standing close to the Visitor Center, which I will show you where that is, in the gardens, the native plant garden, which we've broadcasted from before, just a little south of the building. And the Visitor Center is still closed. The parking lot is still closed, but most of our trails have remained open. And I'm here delivering these wonderful programs to you, hopefully through the right medium, the right pages, which I figured that out. And it's exciting to share this with you because we love it here, and we are unfortunately not being able to offer these in person still. However, we are here practicing our social distancing, washing our hands. Hi, Donna. Making sure that we disinfect our equipment before we use it, and following all the protocols. And as California State Parks opens access to our parks, we ask all of our visitors to follow these protocols as well as we get through this uncertain time together. So, so we'll get right to the subject of today's Lunchtime Live, which is the plant behind me. And you might recall this plant from this species from an earlier Lunchtime Live, one that we did back in, I'd say, early April or so, when I was, there I am, yes, I am here. Sorry for being a little late. I had started this program on time, but on the wrong page. So, take two. So I did a program early on, it was called Similar But Different. And I compared 3 plants that were all evergreens. So we know that the plant today that we're talking about is an evergreen, and it's a very large evergreen perennial shrub called lemonade berry. So you might remember that name from before. It's a fun name, it's easy to remember, lemonade berry. And as you can see, lemonade berry can get quite tall, up to about 30 feet or so, and up to 20 feet wide. Okay, like the one behind me is very tall, and it is an evergreen, which means, if we remember from that program, it's a plant that stays green all year. So leaves are always on the plant. So it does lose some leaves. However, you will find leaves all year. And we explored the leaf, and we'll do that again today a little bit, but we're gonna also get to the juicy part of the program, right? Lemonade for lunch. So I'm not serving up lemonade for lunch. However, we're going to be exploring that concept of lemonade through this plant species. So it's a beautiful day here. You can see the wind is with us. And we always love trying new things around here. And so I have something new too. I have a macro lens, which I hope will work fairly well. I've tested it. So that'll help us to explore this plant a little bit more closely. So the one behind me, the lemonade berry behind me, is kind of how we saw lemonade berry a couple of months ago. However, there's a different species, and I will show you this one in front of me. And by the way, lemonade berry, it is fairly common in the coastal sage scrub chaparral. It is found in Southern California from Santa Barbara to northern Baja in the coastal areas, up to about 3,000 feet. And it does well on dry slopes as this perennial shrub is really resistant also to drought and fire. So this one here, however, you might notice something a little bit different in color. Just a little bit different. You may notice that there is a little bit of color within the plant. So we'll take off the phone here and we're going to get a little closer, and I'm going to try our macro lens. So let's see, while you're thinking about lemonade berry and maybe trying to and seeing if you can recall some of the characteristics, we looked a lot at leaves since we were exploring evergreen plants last time. However, so we'll quickly look at the lemonade berry leaves, and you can see there, and I'm hoping this macro lens is coming across clear and crisp. It looks crisp to me. So you can see the leaf there, kind of an ovalish shape. You can compare it to the size of my fingers. You can see that vein pattern, that pinnate vein pattern that we explored last time. Thanks, Anne. I appreciate that feedback. For anyone that's tuning in now, we are looking at lemonade berry, or Rhus integrifolia, for those of us who like those scientific names. And we're just quickly reviewing the leaf with its sort of waxy coating and a leathery texture. Great, thanks, Mark. And these margins, which sometimes look relatively smooth entire, or however, they do have a toothed edge to them as well. And that's our waxy coated leaf there that helps hold in water so that this plant will stay green all year. Now, you can see that the bark there on these woody stems is that gray color, nice gray color there. Okay, holds this large plant upright with that sturdy, almost like the sturdy spine of vertebrates. Now let's get into, has anyone noticed yet, without me having to tell us what is different about this individual than what we saw last time? And the one behind me is this one has produced something in its cycle that we did not see last time. So this is a plant that produces a fruit, a berry. And so that name, lemonade berry, comes from the fact that this plant produces a fruit. Not all plants produce fruit. And we'll find us another one over here. It's a little bit easier for me to explore and trying to hold my hand steady there. So there we go. The lemonade berry, as it bears its fruit as clusters of red berries. And I'll use my fingers again for size reference. You can see they're, probably a centimeter or so, not quite wide, relatively flat berry. Relatively flat berry. And I mentioned that we were going to get to the juicy part of the program. Well, these berries are juicy. They are juicy. They are a fleshy berry. What color? Red in color. Relatively flat, clustered. And then I don't know if you can see up close, covered with hairs. Covered with hairs. The lemonade berries covered with hairs, and I don't know if you can see that. Now, mind you, I work here, but we really aren't supposed to touch, remove anything from a plant. So technically, I am removing this coating on the berries. Oh, coating on the berries. That's a little bit sticky, a little viscous. You can see that on my finger. That sticky, viscous coating of the berries. Anyone wonder, anyone know, want to guess how the lemonade berry, or why the lemonade berry is called lemonade berry? Is it the color of lemons? Does it look like a lemon? No, it doesn't look like a lemon. It's red and they're small. But what about a lemon might be true? Might be true. It was an accident there. I didn't mean to break the berries off. I'm trying to be careful here, but show reference. And hi, Judy. Nice to see you. All right. Tastes like, yes, Donna, you're right. So the berries are very sour. It's that coating on the berry, that sticky, viscous coating that gives it that sour taste. All right, so these berries, unlike red, that often maybe we think is going to be something sweet, like a raspberry or a strawberry. In this case, these red berries are sour. They are super sour, right? Okay. They're super sour. Now, hi Joe, yes, they're very like citrus-like. Yes, like a lemon. However, these plants are not in the citrus family. They are in the Anacardiaceae family. So the lemonade berry, or Rus integrifolia, is in the Anacardiaceae family, and this is the same family with poison oak, okay, and mangoes, actually. So a lot of the plants in this family have kind of toxic parts to them, and so this is a plant that could, if you are sensitive, give you some sort of a reaction or a rash. However, typically it doesn't, but it could. So, but that could be that those tannins that are found, those properties that are irritants to people, might be what produced that sour taste. I don't know that for sure. I did read a little bit about that, but I don't know for sure. Now, you might be wondering, is this plant edible? Is this plant edible? Is it eaten? Is it eaten? Anyone know? Anyone know if the lemonade berry plant is eaten? It is. It is. By birds, by small mammals. Okay. Not a lot of information. Joe, you're getting close to what to the root of the name here. We do know that this plant, the berries, are eaten by birds, by small mammals. However, I've never seen it. It's hard to find exactly which species. I did find a little bit that said that quail and maybe some scrub jays species might eat it. However, what I have seen is that hummingbirds like to nest in it. I've seen that at least in a couple of places on in the Tijuana estuary on the lemonade berry. Over the course of the 22 years I've been here, I've seen a few hummingbird nests. And these, you can imagine these sturdy branches allow that support that a bird would want for a nest, right? And then the density, the thickness, the cover that it provides is a great hiding spot for wildlife, right? So used as a shelter, used as protection by small mammals, rabbits, birds as well. Now, the birds weren't the only folks that consume the berries. These berries are eaten by native people. So as you can imagine, from Santa Barbara to northern Baja, in that range, there are a variety of various tribes, Native American tribes, that harvested these lemonade berries in varying ways. So yes, some did soak them and made them into a drink. Some turned them into a mush and dried them out and ate the mush. Some ground the seeds of these berries as a medicinal use. And some boiled the bark to help with after childbirth. Right? So these berries, and the bark as well, and I believe even the leaves might have been used as a tea, but these berries provided not only calories, but some medicinal uses through the Native American tribes of Southern California and northern Baja. And these were also used, I'm just recalling now, that as something you would put in your mouth to quench thirst, right? And I think about that when I use like a lozenge, like a citrus lozenge to quench thirst when I go hiking. Okay, so these berries did that as well, because water could be scarce. It could be tough to find water. Okay, I am not going to eat one because everything here is protected, and I would have to ask special permission. However, we did ask special permission once. So we did ask special permission once, and those of you might know that we have a junior ranger program here, and we asked special permission to collect a few lemonade berries and try soaking them and drinking it. And so I do know how sour they actually are. However, if you mix them with a little bit of sugar, it does sweeten it up. And what we found is that our junior rangers, they liked it in the purest way. Yeah, they liked it without the sugar. So they were purists in that way. And yeah, you might find these on a hike, and if you were in dire straits and really thirsty, that might be something to help you get through, especially if you were lost or low on water, to get through your hike. However, we don't recommend anyone do that. You just don't know where these berries, what's come in contact with these berries. But you could grow your own. You could grow your own. This is a great plant for turning into a hedge for the yard, the garden. It doesn't. It grows well in dry environments. It grows fairly quickly, okay? And is very hardy. Yeah. So there we go, the lemonade berry, Rhus integrifolia. And another thing I read is that, I won't try to say it, but the Kumeyaay name for them really depended on the color of the actual berry. So we see the berry as red, so we'll go back to the berry. We see the berry as red, however, when they first started to come out, they're green. And then they start to slowly transform into this red, and sometimes they get even a deeper red. So depending on the stage, the color of the berry, whether it was orange or red, they had a different Kumeyaay name for the plant, which I thought was interesting. I read that is in the Delfina Cuero autobiography, which, by the way, we would recommend as a great reference for understanding native uses of the native plants. So there you go, the lemonade berry, Rhus integrifolia. And right now, this plant is, there we go, flourishing with the red berries, as are a lot of the individuals here at the Tijuana Estuary right now. But I did notice as I walked around to decide which one I was going to do my program by, that a lot of them on the north side of the building are not bearing their fruit right now, which is very interesting. And as we saw over here, the one behind me, and now we'll get close to that one that's behind me, this individual is not bearing any fruit at all. So they bear fruit at different times. There we go. So they bear fruit at different times. And the flower that precedes the fruit is a white to pinkish flower, very small, smaller than my thumbnail, with a light scent. And those flower typically winter to this early to late spring, and then the berries can form as early as now or throughout the summer. So, lemonade berry, Rhus integrifolia, brought to you by the Tijuana Estuary through Lunchtime Live. So if you are craving some lemonade, you might not want to wait till you get a lemonade berry plant and it starts bearing fruit. That might be next year or so. So quench that thirst in the meantime. However, we encourage you to grow native plants when you can. I mean, this native plant garden again started as a large, almost 2-acre site of non-natives, and now we have 22 years later, lemonade berry looking like that, planted here in 1998 to restore some of the species that are in our coastal watershed here as a demonstration at the Tijuana Estuary. So thank you for joining me today. Thank you for being here. Sorry for the little mix-up earlier, for bearing with me through that. And of course I will check that next time. And I'm glad that the macro lens worked, so we've got that to look forward to for future Lunchtime Live. So have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Have a great day. Bye.